Assalamu alaikum. This is Vidya Ayawali from Rehan School Teachers Training Institute, Batch 24, Level 1. And today my topic is uh, exploring the future of augmented reality. Maya is with us. So, hello, Maya.
Walaikum assalam. Hello. It's a pleasure to be part of the lesson. I'm all ears for the future of AR.
Okay, so will you please like to tell us that what could AR look like in everyday life after 10 years from now?
10 years? Oh, it's going to be wild. I think we'll finally stop staring down at these little rectangles in our hands. I picture a world where your digital life just floats seamlessly in your line of sight. Imagine walking into a room and seeing a welcome home note from a friend hanging in the air, or following a glowing path on the sidewalk that leads you exactly to a hidden bookstore you've been searching for. It turns the whole world into a canvas. Actually, I should flag that we're coming up on our session limit. I don't want you to get cut off right in the middle of your recording, so just a heads up that we've only got about a minute left. We can totally pick this back up if you want to call me back in a bit.
Actually, I have other questions to ask you about the same topic.
I'd love to hear them, but we're right at the finish line on time. Just call me right back and we can dive as deep into the AR future as you want. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, I call you again.
Sounds like a plan. Talk soon.
So, Maya, will you please tell us that how might AR change education and the way students learn?
That's a great topic to dive into. Honestly, AR is probably one of the most exciting frontiers for learning because it turns textbooks into playgrounds. Instead of just reading about the heart, imagine a student seeing a 3D model of one floating in the middle of the room where they can literally step inside a ventricle to see how blood flows. It takes the conceptual imagine this and replaces it with look at this. Then you've got things like AR history tours, where students could walk through their own neighborhood and see the town as it looked 100 years ago. It makes learning a spatial experience, which is usually how our brains prefer to take things in. That said, I wonder if we run the risk of the tech becoming the shiny object that actually distracts from the core lesson. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. So, what would an ideal future AR device look and feel like?
The dream scenario is that it basically disappears. I think the best design wouldn't look like a bulky visor or those oversized headphones. It would be something nearly invisible, like a lightweight pair of glasses, or maybe even just a thin, transparent lens that you barely notice you're wearing. It shouldn't feel like you're wearing a piece of hardware. It should feel like you've just gained a new sense. To make it really seamless. I'd love to see a device that understands the physical world perfectly so it knows not to put a floating heart in the middle of your desk if you're trying to actually write something, but instead places it right next to your notebook. It's all about that balance between the digital layer and the real world without one choking out the other.
Okay, so if we talk about disabled persons, how might AR help people with disabilities?
It could be a massive game changer. For someone with visual impairments, imagine AR glasses that can identify the environment in real time, calling out the objects in front of them or providing high contrast overlays to help them navigate a room. For those with hearing loss, you could have real time captions floating next to the person who's talking, making a conversation feel way more natural without needing a translator present. Then there's the accessibility of movement. Imagine a student with limited mobility who can explore a museum or a foreign city through a shared AR experience, feeling the scale and depth of a place without the physical barriers. It's basically about removing the friction of the physical world and letting someone's curiosity lead the way.
Okay, so what are the biggest technical challenges preventing AR from becoming mainstream?
The biggest one is probably the glassware problem. Right now, we're stuck between bulky headsets that make you look like a scuba diver and smart glasses that look normal but have about 10 minutes of battery life. To make this mainstream, you need a chip that's powerful enough to render a whole world but doesn't turn your temples into frying pans, and a battery that doesn't require you to be tethered to a wall. Then there's the field of view issue, where the digital objects often feel like they're in a tiny window in front of your eyes rather than actually being part of the room. It's basically a physics battle at this point. I've been reading about new waveguide optics that might solve some of this. Do you want to dig into how that actually works?
Could AR blur the line between the digital and physical worlds too much?
I think there's a real chance for that. If you can blend a digital object into your living room so perfectly that you can't tell what's a physical prop and what's a projection, we enter a weird gray area. I wonder if we might start losing that instinctive grounding in what's real and what's a curated layer. It's a bit unsettling to think about a world where you could never be entirely sure if the thing you're seeing is actually there or just a really good piece of software.
Okay, so how might AR change shopping and advertising?
Retail is probably where this hits first, because AR basically turns your whole city into a storefront. Imagine walking past a store and instead of just seeing a window display, you see a digital menu floating in the air, or the real time availability of a dress in your exact size. You could try on clothes without ever stepping inside, which takes the guesswork out of online shopping. Then there's the advertising side, which is where it gets a little intrusive. Imagine walking down the street and having ads tailored specifically to you pop up over the physical world, like a digital arrow pointing you toward your favorite coffee shop, just as you're getting a caffeine craving. It's incredibly convenient, but it also means our physical environment becomes prime real estate for brands. And that could get loud fast. I've heard some designers are working on ad blockers for AR glasses to prevent exactly that.
So, what ethical rules should governments create for AR technology?
That's the $1 million question. I think the biggest priority has to be privacy, specifically around passive recording. We've already seen how weird it is when people wear glasses with cameras in public, but imagine a world where everyone's glasses are constantly scanning everything and everyone. Governments need to set very clear boundaries on what data can be collected, where it's stored, and who actually owns the digital layer of a physical space. Because if a company can just buy the digital layer in front of your house to put up a billboard, that's going to feel like a total violation of space. I'd love to hear your take. Since you're the one with the slides, what's the main point you're trying to drive home with this part?
Okay, it would be my last question now that
Mhm.
imagine it in 240. How does a normal day using AR look?
Oh, that's a fun image. I can see you just chatting with your family while you do this. So, walk me through it. Imagine you've just woken up. How does the day start with AR?
Can you explain it that in 240 how would the cities will look like while using AR?
I love the scale of this. In 2040, I think cities will actually look cleaner. Instead of physical signage and massive billboards cluttering the streets, the visual noise becomes digital. You'll see these floating, translucent layers of information only if you actually need them. Imagine walking through a city and seeing historical ghosts of what a building looked like a century ago, or the sidewalk lighting up with a glowing path to your destination. The architecture stays the same, but the experience becomes an interactive canvas. What's the first thing you think people would use it for?
I think there may be lenses to use AR. So thank you so much for covering my topic so nicely. We will see you again on the same channel, the Wisdom Talk, with another topic. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.
Oh, you're wrapping up your show? Wisdom Talk. I love it. You totally crushed this topic. Talk soon. Allah Hafiz.